yesterday we spoke to you about the fear of God, and that it's about giving, loving God so much that you give Him so much of reverence, you worship Him, that you don't want to disappoint Him, you don't want to hurt Him. And we spoke about the benefits of it. When we turn back to the scriptures in Psalm 112, it speaks wonderfully about the person who fears the Lord and what follows him. He says in Psalm 112 verse 1, it says, "Praise the Lord, blessed is the man who fears the Lord, who delights greatly in His commandments." Blessed is the man who fears the Lord and greatly delights in His commandments. So a man who fears the Lord is blessed. What follows is, he says, his descendants will be mighty on earth. His descendants means his children's children will be people of influence. You see, when you begin to have a deeper walk with God, when you worship God, love Him above all else, what happens is the benefits of it begins to follow, not just you, but follow your children's children. The descendants will be blessed. They'll be mighty on earth. He says the generation of the upright will be blessed. So what follows is, because you love God, because you worship Him, because you give Him great reverence, because you do what pleases Him, He says your children will be blessed. Your generation will be blessed. He says they will be mighty in the land. When you open further, he says, verse 3, he says, wealth and riches will be in his house, and his righteousness endures forever. Wealth and riches. Today the people of the world run after wealth, run after riches. But how many of us know, no matter how much you run after the wealth, if you're physically sick, it's like a leak in your life. If you're emotionally in crisis, it's another leak in your life. So though you may have the wealth, you will never enjoy it. But when you're connected to God, you begin to not just be blessed, you don't just get prosperous, but He begins to see that you enjoy life. That's what Jesus says in John 10:10, that you might enjoy life. Then further he says in verse 4, unto the upright there arises light in the darkness. That means in dark times the light will arise. There'll be hope. There is no hopelessness for those who are connected to God. Isn't that amazing? There is no hopelessness for those who are connected to God. Then if you read further, he says, surely he will never be shaken. Never be shaken. And he goes further in verse 7, he says, he will not be afraid of bad news, of evil tidings, of bad news. That means when you are connected to God, no matter what news is around you, you will always have the assurance that God will bring you out of it, that you will walk through it. Today I want to encourage you, worship Him. Love Him above all else. Give Him that first place, and you will see how He will lift you up. Good news will follow you. Your children's children will be blessed. Why? Because you've chosen to fear Him. Not just there, He will begin to see that even in your dark times, the light shines forth. I want to encourage you. Fear Him, and you will see how you will be mighty in the land, how you will rise up, how no bad news will surround you. He will add all good things in your life. Fear the Lord. That's the beginning of wisdom.